Hello there, I'm Colin. Thanks for stopping by.
And I'm Roma. Welcome to Messing About with a Narrowboat.
This episode we're going to run through some of the narrowboat shell design considerations that we did. In this episode, we thought we would answer the many questions we're getting about the boat build. The style, the engine, the stern, the interior, how long is it, how wide is it? And we thought we'd do this Q&A style and cover just the core boat style. In this video, we'll do the interior in another one. What length is the boat and why? Now, in order to answer that, let's take a very short look at the history of the canals. The canals were created in the mid-18th century, around 1750, at the time when industrialisation was happening. Factory and landowners needed a way to move goods faster and in bulk, rather than by horse and cart. The canals were dug out by hand and generally focused on delivering goods for a specific industrialist.
This led to a degree of competition. Canals were expensive to build and water needed to be managed, so some canal owners only built to a size they needed. Eventually a standard emerged, but only after a number of canals were built to the specific boat dimension. So the standard width of a narrowboat is 6 foot 10 inches wide, and boat lengths varied on different canals. For 100 years, the canals were the main method of transporting goods, all with horse-drawn boats at 3 miles per hour, and there were over 4,000 miles of canals.
In the mid-19th century, Robert Stephenson invented the steam train and the railways were born. These would transport more goods faster than the canals to more places and cost less. So the decline of the canals had started. Just after World War I, the canals were all but unused and fell into disrepair. Now we're nearly there, stick with me. By the mid-1960s, there was only around 1,000 miles of reasonably viable waterways, and it was looking grim. Until a group of like-minded volunteers decided to try and restore the canals for leisure boating.
Now, there are around 2,500 miles of fully restored canals used mainly for leisure purposes and still using the same nearly 300-year-old core infrastructure, routes and locks.
Today, the network is managed by the Canal and River Trust, plus an army of volunteers. Right, we're getting to answering the how long is your boat question. Locks. Locks are the primary deciding factor when it comes to boat length. Locks are how boats move up and down gradients, up and down hills. Locks are like a big bath. Put boat in, pull plug, drive boat out. Remember I said locks were expensive to build? So size is important. Typically lock sizes are 72.5 foot long and 7.5 foot wide. But where the original owners only used shorter boats and wanted to reduce water usage and costs, they'd reduced the length of the locks. So, what size is a narrowboat and why? We chose a 57 foot long, 6 foot 10 inch wide narrowboat as a go-anywhere boat that will allow us to explore every canal and fit in every lock. We may not complete that challenge, but that's what we want to do. That's our adventure. Next question. What stern style are you having? There are 4 main stern types. Which one you want depends on your needs and your boat length. Type 1 is the traditional or trad stern. It's typical of the old traditional working boats. The 2 to 3 foot in length footplate gives more room inside, but the engine is inside the boat and the tiller area is only large enough for one person. Type 2, semi-traditional or semi-trad, is a modern version of a trad. It has a bit more social space while maintaining a traditional look, but typically still only room for one at the tiller. Type 3. A cruiser gives a large social space, with the engine below the deck. At least 6 foot in length, it is open planned with safety rails. It is the favoured design of hire boats. Type 4. A semi-cruiser is a modern twist on a semi-trad and cruiser. It gives more social space than a cruiser with extra seating. Typically at least 8 foot in length, it is semi-enclosed and often with doors to the area. So what stern style are we having? We chose a semi-cruiser stern to maximise the bow space and create a seated social space at the rear. From all the sterns that we evaluated, semi-cruiser was our preferred style. Next question. What bow style are you having? Narrowboat bows have little capacity for customisation. Typically the bow part has a locker, sometimes for gas, and a well deck for seating. For liveaboards, often the well deck is covered to provide sheltered seating and dry extra storage for coal, logs, bikes, etc. The other option is to forgo the well deck and use the area to extend the internal boat space. This can gain an extra 4 feet of valuable internal space, but at the loss of the external seating at the front of the boat. So what bow style are we having? We chose an enclosed bow, and we'll use the extra space for our bedroom area. We found that when we hired boats, we never really used the well deck and preferred to be together at the stern. Next question. What window style are you having? You can have porthole windows or coach style windows or a mix of both. There are options for roof windows too if you want to trade valuable roof space. So what window style are we having? We chose all portholes, 18-inch double glazed with a black glass surround. It won't be too dark and we really like the look. Are you having an electric engine? Engine choices these days are diesel, hybrid or full electric. The majority are diesel. Each has a price point and allows a personal choice for boaters. Diesel engines are not banned yet. So what engine are we having? It's a diesel. Beta Marine 43 green line, 43 horsepower at 2,800 RPM. Now we looked at the cost benefit analysis for hybrid and electric, and these were way over the wrong side of the curve for our budget. And finally, the most common question, how much was your shell? So now here's all the other questions with short answers.